This episode's book is Mindset by Carol Dweck, a Stanford academic who suggests that there are two core mindsets, a fixed mindset and growth mindset. Those with a fixed mindset have a single sense and vision of who they are and what they can achieve. Those with growth mindsets believe that perhaps they can achieve anything. Well, here today we're going to find out what we think of the book Mindset. There are a couple of characteristics that we know of people who have a fixed mindset. They tend to think that mistakes are a reflection on them as human beings. They tend to take mistakes quite negatively. Those with growth mindsets see that as an opportunity to learn and to grow. I mean, David, if you were to sum yourself up, which would you say you are?
I'd like to think I'm in the growth mindset as a general rule. I think there is a tendency for all human beings sometimes to lapse into a comfort zone and you sort of feel quite happy. Something jolts you out of it and then you have to reorient yourself and think through where you wanted to go, what are the things that are really important to you. One of my great challenges as I approach my 60s is I've got a very young family and I constantly have to think about how that's going to work out in the next period of our lives. So that to some extent brings me between the growth and the fixed, and you sort of have to work out where you want to get to.
Well, you bring up an important point. The book references parenting and the use of mindsets as a parenting tool, and the author really clearly states that there is a very hard science behind the way that we praise and recognize effort in our kids. Dweck suggests, as do lots of other researchers, that we have to praise the effort and not the outcome. And you bring up parenting there, David. In a manner of speaking, your role as an organisation like the CBI is kind of a parent of sorts, a guide for the business community in Northern Ireland. What role do you think the likes of the CBI has in instilling a growth mindset in the business community?
I think it's really important. I mean, we, from a general point of view, have to see the economy of Northern Ireland grow significantly over the next period of time. There are some significant challenges ahead, and I think one of the things we all have to believe in is that we can grow. If you can have that fundamental belief that we will grow, then invariably good things happen.
And what I wanted to ask you, David, was, do you think the book explains why the smarter people who start out smarter don't end up the smartest?
Well, for me, I don't think it does, but one thing that I think the book could do a better job at is showing how, if you've got a fixed mindset, how do you change it to a growth mindset? Now, they give you lots of simple little strategies, like changing the words that you use, changing how you look at your own failure, how you communicate with others, but it's not as practical as one might think. The book suggests that we can all very easily change our mindset. I'm not sure that it makes a solid argument for how easy one can do that. Well, we're in Belfast in Northern Ireland. What do you think the mindset is here?
I think we've got a growth mindset in Belfast. I think there's been a lot of positives in Northern Ireland, and I think there's a lot of people at the minute, particularly proud of all our successes, who sort of feel that, we're proud, this is our wee country, we're proud of it, we have a bit of a growth mindset, punching above our weight.
I think we actually have this interesting dichotomy that our society has a lot of structure and we have a tribal arrangement. So one tribe says these are our values, another tribe says these are our values. But actually, the thing that we've got very good at learning is you have to be flexible. Although you may say this is your value system and this is your value system, what we're working our way through is how to create compromise. And one of the things about a flexible growth mindset is that ability to compromise, to move from those precepts that become rigid and established.
Well, I think we probably all have elements of fixed and growth mindset everywhere. What's your most fixed mindset, David, do you think? And I'll tell you mine first and foremost. Mine genuinely is, you talked about working out, fitness. I convince myself that I don't have time to work out because I'm in hotels 5 nights a week. And the truth of the matter is, if I'm really honest, all of these hotels have amazing gyms, far better than a gym that you would get in the high street. So I do have the ability to do it, but I convince myself, I've been flying a lot and I'm too tired and I don't have my trainers with me. That's a really fixed mindset. But I think in other areas of my life, I'm very growth when it comes to business and performance and all of that. So what would be your most fixed?
The biggest challenge I face is seeing the totality of the opportunity of life and grasping all of that. With 8 kids and with all the other things that are going on in my life, there's always more you can do. And the question is really how you configure all of that and allow that to happen.
Getting the most out of it. What about you?
I know I certainly adopt a fixed mindset if I have seen somebody do something and it looks quite tough or they fail spectacularly. Something in my psyche takes their experience on board and think, oh, I'll definitely not do that. Whereas actually, just because somebody's failed at something doesn't mean that I necessarily might fail at it.
Laura, before we wrap up, if you were to sum this book up to another person, what have you taken away from it?
There's positives to take away from it about how you change your mindset and how you, if you're an educator, can change the mindset of young people. Slightly disappointed, and I think it's sort of about the individual rather than collaboration.
David, same to you. What have you taken away from this book more than anything else?
It's a really good way of reflecting on how you approach the world. And from that point of view, I think it's a good read. I would like to see more focus on teams, because I think it's through teams that you help each other. There's a friend of mine who one day said, I need to give myself, he's talking of himself, I need to cut myself some more slack. I think teams are really good at helping you understand the positives and negatives that go on.
For me, it's about that lens through which you look at the work that you do. And I'm always reminded of Muhammad Ali, who said that I'm one of the greatest golfers in the world, I just haven't tried yet. He convinced himself that even if he had been a trash man, he would have been the best trash collector in the world I'd ever seen. It is about me and singing, yeah, you're right, yeah, control yourself. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Book Club. So we want your comments, share it, subscribe, tell us what you thought of the book. Anyone that comments has the opportunity to win not only this, but maybe next episode's book as well. The next book that we will be looking at is Legacy by James Kerr. So start reading it and we'll see you back here at the Business Book Club next time.